Welcome to Inspire and Move, the show that inspires you to create, connect, and grow. I'm going to bring you meaningful conversations, aha moments, and all the motivation you need to up-level every part of your life. I'm Ali Aruda, founder of Inspire and Move, and your personal hype girl. I've gone from fashion school to celebrity stylist to corporate marketing to brick-and-mortar entrepreneurship with my husband, each time learning incredible lessons how to pivot, reimagine, and implement the steps to become successful. I'm passionate about inspiring others to live their best life, a life of joy. We have the power to design a life that we love, because life is too short not to. The best part is that you weren't meant to do this alone. If you feel like you are meant for more, let me ride shotgun with you, and together, let's get you to where you want to go. I want to transition a little bit into the world of community and events. And those are two things that I really love and connect with. How has that played a role in the culture of organic traditions, not only within the team, but more so like within the brand, with your brand partners, creators, and your consumers?
When I walk into some health food stores and say, like, I'm the founder at Organic Traditions, people are like, I remember your dad coming in here like years ago and just like raving about wheatgrass powder. And like, I'll never forget it. Like, people still remember him and how much he connected with people. And it like surprises me every time. And then it always instantly reminds me, like, there's so much love for our brand. Like I tend to forget that. And every time I'm like out there more, I'm like, wow, this is invigorating. Like, we need to do more of this. But like I said, grassroots, he started going like store to store, really connecting with people. We used to go to every like Toronto yoga show, women's show, green living show, like the vegan fairs, like all that stuff. So we've been sort of at those markets and in the community in that way for a really long time. And then I'd say when I came into the brand 2017 and wanted us to have a bit more of a digital presence, we started doing like creator hosted community events. We did like goal setting and journaling, or how to build a perfect smoothie. Like, we would do it at like the Lululemon had, I think, a free event space on Queen Street, for example.
Attic.
Yes,
Yes.
we did it there. We used to do tons of that stuff. And then it all went away during COVID.
Of course.
I had 2 kids back to back sort of during COVID. And then we were kind of holding on a lot of these bigger events for a long time because we knew that our rebrand was in the works. So we actually just had our first big community event in September, and it felt incredible because every single person on the list that came was like, I've been using this brand for like 15 years. Like, this was the first health brand that I ever bought when I was in nutrition school. And we just have such a strong community of nutritionists and dietitians and fitness enthusiasts. And it's amazing. Like, I'm like, okay, we need to do more of this. It's really, really empowering for the brand, and I think for everyone there.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I am obsessed with like in-person events.
Yeah.
And I have this toxic trait where I will turn anything into an event. I was like, we need swag bags. We need to have warm drinks after.
The details are very important. Yeah.
Totally.
I'm like, if we're going to do an event,
You have to do it right.
must be incredible.
Yeah.
It must be like perfect, tied in a bow.
So you, as the founder and president, how do you love to show up in the events? What is your favorite role?
I just want to be there and talk to people and hear their feedback. I'm constantly like, I was at the Toronto Marathon bib pickup this morning because we have a booth there, and my husband's running in the marathon this weekend. So I went to check out our booth, and, love the team. They did an incredible job setting it up, but I can't help, like, I'm not in my like OT gear this morning, but I put the hat on, and every single person that came up to the table for the 20 minutes that I was there, I was like, are you familiar with Organic Traditions? Like, what health food stores do you shop at? I just want to hear the insights because I just learned so much from talking to people, and people don't talk to their customers enough.
It's so interesting you're saying this because Matt and I coach in a mastermind community online, and we had a great call yesterday with our marketing coach talking about exactly that, of communicating with your audience. And whether it is, like a CPG brand, or if it is followers on Instagram, if you're, launching coaching programs and offers, is using your audience as like your greatest tool.
Yeah.
And constantly asking for feedback that you can then apply into your products, your marketing, your creative, and what it is that they want.
Our head of growth, we were talking about this recently, and specifically like for any CPG brands, or I guess you could honestly do this for anything, the power of a post-purchase survey. The most simple thing, like any information you can mine from your existing community or customers to improve things, to give them what they want, like it is so impactful. Just getting an email after you've bought something being like, why did you buy this? What do you plan to do with it? Who did you buy it for? Like even just one of those questions, I'm like, do you know how much data that gives us to then like scale our paid ads in a different way or tweak this or tweak that? It's just invaluable.
And do you get a great return back on people replying to those emails?
Yeah, it's it's pretty good, especially if it's a repeat customer. Like they're
Okay.
invested.
Yeah.
So they're happy to share.
Does Organic Traditions have a subscription model?
Yes.
Okay.
That's actually where we've seen the most growth on our own website. So it's like there's an Amazon customer who wants to like try one thing, low barrier to entry, don't pay shipping, and then you have the like brand loyalists who we noticed that the average order on our website was like 5 or 6 items. Like think about how often you go to a store and you like a brand site and you buy like so many things at once. But that was the behavior we were seeing. So actually with the rebrand and the new website being built, we really prioritized sort of like a custom build your own bundle and subscription model into the site because that's how those customers love to shop. And so we've seen in the last 4 weeks of this new website being launched, we've acquired more new subscription customers than we ever did in 2 years prior on the old website.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's just the rebrand is exciting, but it's also just like such stronger PDPs and conversion, and
I was
it's
gonna say,
just
is
like
it the functionality or navigation of the website?
all of that. And because we've cut so much clutter away from the brand, and like there isn't too much to choose from, and people are customizing this bundle now. So yeah,
It's so funny how, you take clutter, how that impacts like us in life, between like a cluttered closet, a cluttered desk, but then on a larger scale, like a cluttered business and a cluttered brand.
yeah. And it's so funny you say that because we got through this rebrand. We've done so much internal work and like paring down and simplifying. Like one of our core values is keep it simple. And now, we got through this trade show. We have all these like packaging samples all over the place. The office is a mess lately.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a professional organizing service to now come in and help streamline the entire office because I'm like, this is the next thing that needs to happen so that the workspace can be productive and calm as well. Because I so believe what you just said. Like,
Oh my gosh.
it impacts everything.
Absolutely. Okay, and I wanted to like switch gears out of, because I feel like I could talk about Organic Traditions and the products until I'm blue in the face. And actually, no, I have one final question about products, and then I want to shift to like you as an entrepreneur. Was there a moment when, because I know with my own eyes, I've seen Organic Traditions in a ton of different retailers. Was the most exciting retailer when you got confirmation in whatever the process looks like, you as a founder receiving confirmation that X retailer now wants to carry Organic Traditions?
Okay, I'll give you, I can give you one. There's one that just happened that I can't,
We can't share.
say.
Okay, we have to gatekeep
I
that
can't
one.
say, but
Okay.
it's a big, big, big one.
In Canada or US?
In Canada. Well, they're in both, but
Okay.
for Canada specifically. And then in the US, the one that I think made me just so excited is Erewhon.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, Erewhon is kind of the pinnacle grocery wellness retailer. It's a lifestyle brand at this point. It used to truly just be a grocery store, but now it's like a movement. It's LA based. I think they have 12 locations now, and we've been in Erewhon for a number of years. But when I went there and saw physically our product on the shelf back in 2018, I just like,
Pinch me?
yeah, so great. And then I think it was shortly after that, like we saw on TikTok, the Kardashians had our matcha in their pantry. And I'm like, they for sure bought it at Erewhon because they shop there. So
Yes.
it's just like the visibility and like kind of the perception of being in Erewhon is so important. And a lot of other retailers sort of follow what they do. So it's really great for the brand to say like, we're in Erewhon. They don't actually drive as much volume as, a Healthy Planet or these like local amazing partners that we have, but it's more just how it's perceived as like this pinnacle of wellness, and so it's still
I'm
a
excited
big
for
deal.
you. Like I'm sitting
Yeah.
here and like I want to pinch myself for
Yeah,
you.
no, it's definitely still a big deal. But the one that's coming in Canada, that's like a really, really big retailer, I'm super excited about.
How long has this retailer been on your vision board?
Forever. Forever.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, one more question. Is there a celebrity or someone that you love and admire that you have seen or heard is a lover of organic traditions?
Oh, that's a good question. Huh. I can't think of a celebrity right now. We have a lot of really great, we have some housewives we've seen using it. Not that I'm like huge into that. We see Cheryl Hickey,
Okay,
who we
yes.
love using OT all the time. She loves our moringa powder. Yeah, I can't think of anyone else right now, but tons of like amazing people.
Okay, the time has come where we are transitioning to Allie as the entrepreneur. How do you fill your cup?
So when I'm not in a crazy sprint, because like let's just say like when things are going like completely normal and it's not insane, waking up before my kids, waking up before anyone and doing a workout in the morning absolutely is life changing for me. There's nothing better mentally and physically. I just like thrive when I do that because it instantly makes all my food choices better. It instantly just impacts every other area of my life. And so I'd say that being the consistent go-to as long as I'm going to bed on time is the life-changing way that I fill my cup for sure.
And what is your current workout? Because we've talked about your 29-29 marathon. You used to be a CrossFit girl.
Yeah, I love intensity. I don't know why. I'm just like, I want to feel it. I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah, I want to be gasping for air, super sweaty with a high heart rate.
Yeah, like if you want to yell at me, like I'm all for it. Like I want to come out being like I've been like brutalized, which sounds so crazy, but I think it's just me wanting to like really make the most of my time.
That's fair.
I don't want like a
you recognize that.
I don't want to stand around and twiddle my thumbs. For the past year, I was training for this triple marathon in Utah, so it was tons of like step ups and a lot of hiking for like 10 to 12 hours at a time, working on endurance and things like that. But otherwise, I'm just really big into weight training. I love to just do like upper body, lower body, full body day splits, and just getting enough steps in. Nothing really too complicated. We finished our basement and put a gym down there. Keep it simple. Go down at 5:30 in the morning, and that's what I do.
Okay, and post-workout, obviously I need to ask, how do you refuel? Are you a coffee girl, a lion's mane coffee, matcha girl, turmeric?
Do you want like my exact recipe?
I want to know. I need to know everything.
Okay, so post-workout, my instant go-to is I take chilled mushroom coffee, like our Focus Fuel, which has lion's mane in it. I make it in advance, like I make a batch of it and I keep it in the fridge. So I do a smoothie. I have 1 cup of this chilled coffee, a splash of cream. I put a scoop of acacia fiber in it, which is 6 grams of fiber. No taste. It's amazing. I add protein powder. I add collagen. I add a scoop of nut butter, a pinch of salt. I'm adding 5 grams of creatine. And then I'm typically also adding some of that yacon syrup, just like a little dash. Blend that with ice. It tastes like an incredible like frappuccino that has 50 grams of protein. It's got 10 to 12 grams of fiber. It keeps me full. I then eat like breakfast or like an early lunch at like 11, and I have this at like 7. So it's just like sets me up.
I'm definitely gonna need a follow-up text with the
Yeah.
exact ingredients because that sounds delicious.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, I'm like, did I miss anything? But no, I think that's everything. Yeah.
Would you put like a chia seed in there?
I would put sprouted chia seed powder.
Okay.
So that would just boost the fiber even more if I wanted to. It wouldn't really change the taste.
And diet-wise, do you eat everything?
I eat everything in moderation. I try to focus, like, probably sound like a broken record of everybody out there right now.
Protein
and fiber. I think fiber is downplayed a lot.
It totally
and you
is.
Can't absorb all the nutrients in your diet if you don't have enough fiber. So you can't just like go nuts on protein. Definitely consume a lot of plants as well, but I'm not 100% plant-based. I just like to have a little bit of everything for sure.
And then going to the back end of your day, what time is your like ideal goal bedtime?
Ideally, I'm in bed by 9:30 and I'm waking up at like 4:45, 5, and working out by like 5:15, 5:30. So need to go to bed super early. It's getting a little bit harder as my kids have gotten older. They're 3 and 5. I used to put them to bed at like 6:37, like shut the door, good night, and like it's done. And now there's just like theatrics, and it keeps getting like
Maybe some negotiations.
there's negotiation. It just keeps getting kind of like dragged out. So now I'm like lucky if I'm like fully done with it by like 8:15, and then it's like, okay, I gotta go to bed in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Do you have any sort of nighttime routine?
if I have time, and that didn't take too long, I love to do sauna. So we have an infrared sauna in our garage.
Okay.
There's literally nowhere else to put one.
Perfect.
Shout out to Costco and their infrared saunas. I highly recommend it. That's a good investment if you have space for it. But I do that for like 25 minutes, shower, stretch, red light glasses. No phone, no TV. I don't have a TV, and we don't have a TV in our room. I've never believed in that. So I don't want to fall asleep to TV. But yeah, my husband and I will just kind of chill for that last like 20, 30 minutes after like showering, post sauna, chat about the day. We try not to talk about work. He is at Organic Traditions as well. He's our director of ops.
All right.
So that's
a
also
big
super
hat.
interesting. Yeah.
Okay, when did he come into the business?
In 2019.
Okay, great.
So he worked at BBDO at the time. He was in advertising, and he also he loved it, but he saw my first 2 years of figuring things out and the struggle and how much I was putting into it. And he was like, I love what I do, but at the end of the day, this is still just a conglomerate agency corporation. And somewhere I'm a number on a spreadsheet, and I'd rather work as hard as I do with you to help you build what you're building than do anything else.
So tell me, A, I love that. B, tell me about how, because Matt and I work together, so tell me what that looks like for you guys. What is a big win in terms of, communication, having each other's backs? Obviously, you have two very large roles in the company and two very different roles, but how do you balance that as husband and wife and working in the same successful company?
It's really hard. I would say, first of all, it's very, very, very challenging, but very rewarding. If we didn't work together, I don't think he'd ever be able to fully relate to what I go through as a founder, trying to build this company, build the team, the emotion that has to get poured into it, the intensity of it. And so I'm really grateful that we work together, but we have to I think we're just hyper aware of what the boundaries need to be, that we need extra communication, and that we also need delegated and separate roles, which we very much have. We've learned that it also goes in seasons working together. Sometimes it's harder than other times. Sometimes it's great. And then there's massive, cross-functional projects happening, and the boundary of not talking about work after bedtime gets broken, or I'm about to go to sleep and he has a question for me and I'm like, I can't talk to you about this right now. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing challenge, but it's a challenge worth having, I would say. Do you sort of feel
I would
that?
agree with that. I mean, we have moments where, and I'm so guilty of, I have so many thoughts in my head, and you probably as a founder are like, I feel so seen, where I think the way I try to articulate them to my husband and he doesn't follow through or doesn't understand. And then the questioning is well, how don't you understand? Why aren't you following what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it comes back to that clarity of communication.
Yes.
And absolutely there's seasons where we always joke we're kind of like a hot potato of hot potato, pass it to you and then pass it back to me.
Yeah.
But we do really enjoy building our business together. We have very different strengths, which is great. So important.
Yeah.
And we deal with things differently.
Yeah, same.
And it's really interesting that sometimes, whether it's in personal life happenings or in the business, I'll say our reactivity, for lack of a better term, can be so different, which actually can really balance each other out. Sometimes we're super aligned, and then other times it would be that maybe I'm overreacting and he is very much the voice of reason, or vice versa. We were driving to the gym bright and early this morning, and someone went before him when he shouldn't have, so kind of cut him off. And if he was more reactive, I was like, oh my God, it's fine. We're gonna get there. It's in 1 minute away. So I really appreciate the balance of each other's almost yin yang energy.
Yeah, no, it's good for that reason, for sure. And there's no one else that would get it 100% otherwise. So.
And we have started really becoming attracted to, I think naturally, couples in business.
Yeah, same.
And how I always love knowing, like, how do you guys work together? Or
Yes.
like, do you love date nights? We love date nights, but we actually love date nights at home
Yeah.
because we are out all the time. You lead a big team. So
Yeah.
maybe it feels better to go home and have a beautiful dinner and a bottle of wine or whatever it looks like.
Well, actually, we try to leave as often as
Yeah,
possible.
babysitter.
Yeah. But the other thing that we do is, I'd love to say like every single day we have scheduled time in our calendar, like during the business day, but we actually don't. Like we have different direct reports, and a lot of days are back-to-back meetings that we're not necessarily in all of those together. So we have once per quarter a full day that's 100% blocked, non-negotiable. That's just for like realigning to family goals, personal goals, budget, like where are we? Because
Yes.
otherwise you can just get very caught up. So once per quarter, I think is really manageable. Even once a week for us would probably be like not doable in the scope of everything else we have going on. But I also like, I guess I said this, like I like to be kind of intense. So I'm like, I'd rather block a full day, take out the calendar and be like, okay, where are we with everything? Like what's going on over here versus like 30 minutes where it's then like, okay, now my brain has to switch gears and I'm going in to talk about something else with other people. Like I'd rather spend the day with him and like really get into it. So
Yeah.
like that's what works for us.
I love that you've said that because we started doing that this year on a entry level. Next, like 2026, I would love to do it quarterly.
Yeah, and like book it now.
And book it now. We are getting better at doing like integration days after, because we do a lot of travel every year with events and masterminds. I'm such a big believer of investing in rooms that help you grow and stretch you.
Yeah.
And I love that Matt and I now do that together. Makes it double the investment, but double the impact. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
And so now we either, if it's travel, we try to add like an integration day there. If we're at a nice hotel, maybe sit by the pool. Or if we need to get home, let's book it somewhere within like, the next week of getting home to really integrate what it is that, okay, what did you learn? Well, this is what I learned. And then let's like put it together and see what are we going to take action on.
I think that's so important because otherwise you kind of lose the momentum of like all the knowledge and like the insights, and you're not able to like communicate either to your, let alone to yourself or someone else, like what am I going to do with this now? So that's
And that's a
love
big
that.
part, is like the takeaway and taking
Yeah.
action.
Yeah.
That, okay, you had this massive vision and still do for organic traditions. And let's call it like 365 plus days ago, you had this growth plan that you've come up with, but then you took the action on rolling it out.
Yeah. But the reality also is like, I think about this a lot. Like, I love to read business books and self-help books. And like, I'm very much also about like continuously leveling up as much as possible. But once in a while, I think you go to one too many conferences or you read one too many books and you're like, I can just only implement so much. I can take action consistently, but sometimes I can't have too many like new ideas or frameworks or all these different like ways to keep getting better going on in my head at the same time. And like, I think that people, like I said, kind of try to do too much. And I'll be the first to admit that like sometimes I read business books for 6 months and then I do like a major flip to like random like romantasy genre, which I never would have even seen myself reading in a million years. And it's because I'm like, okay, like I need to just tap out right now. There's only so much I can do.
Yeah, I am finishing a fiction book that I read. I picked it up for our vacation we just went on a few weeks ago, like a true vacation. It was so fun.
A true vacation.
And it's called Malibu Rising. I was like, this
I
book
read
is
it.
great.
I've read it. Yeah.
It's so good.
I just read that.
I can't wait to finish it. But I love what you said, and I think we've had like some great conversations surrounding clutter and clarity, and even what you said about really focusing on what it is that the brand does so well and going back to those roots. And I'm excited to take that vision into 2026 myself, because I think I have been in multiple seasons of doing a lot of things, and I'm going to need to welcome I say slow down very loosely because I'm very similar to you. I feel very seen in our conversation together. But I think kind of removing some things that I have been doing to create a greater area of focus on other things that are of more impact.
Yes.
So just offloading a few things that I've done.
And auditing your time, like post-mortem, is really helpful for that, because you could look at like your last 3 months and be like, where did I spend all my time, and like what actually like got me closer to my goals or drove the most impact. And if you're not like ever making time, which you could do this in like those quarterly days, to be reflective, then you kind of just keep doing a lot of, stuff that's okay, but it's not really moving the needle. So
Yeah.
it's good for that too.
And I think being honest, even as you said, like when you're going through the list of products that you've had to say goodbye or in the process of grieving a loss of one of your favorite products.
And I was I formulated those products too.
So you're deeply connected to them.
Yeah, I love them.
And that I've heard this from some of my good friends in the industry too, in personal development, entrepreneurship, that they've loved, this 6-figure program for female entrepreneurs, but they've let it go. And I have an event that I've done now for a few seasons, my girlfriend walk events that used to be monthly. This year I did 2 per month, and I was able to audit it and be like, you know what? It's not as impactful doing 2 per month, so I need to scale it back to 1 per month. Or maybe they came for a purpose and maybe they come off of the portfolio.
Yeah. Or you can make a bigger deal out of it when they're less frequent and it's more impactful and make it a bigger event.
Totally.
Sounds like you love to do.
I do love to do.
Yeah.
But I'm like, constantly being of service to people with your brand, your products, your community. How can you have that greater level of impact?
Yeah. For me, I think it's like, if we go back to what the brand is about, which is making it easy for people to consume superfoods, I actually want to step into a bit more of a role where I'm able to help educate on how you do that. Because a big part of our brand DNA is like, make it easy, but continue to educate and empower. Like, we're not here to tell you, we're here to guide you. Yeah. And I think that the way that I want to show up for the community and drive impact is to, I consider myself somewhat of a subject matter expert on superfoods, but I haven't really fully tapped into that knowledge in a way where I'm sharing it at scale.
Yeah.
And I love to hear people's feedback and give them one-on-one advice, but I'm like, how can I make that more impactful? So that's what I'm going to be focusing on moving forward. I can't say that I've done it yet, but that's something I've really been thinking about just as a founder, as a brand, and like where I can really help.
I think you'd be great at that.
Thank you.
And I feel like we should do an event.
Okay. Okay, we're committing to it here.
Yes, everyone has heard. Oh my gosh, Allie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having
I feel like we could have chatted for 3 hours.
100%.
We need a matcha break, but I feel like we could have chatted for hours. So you'll just have to come back.
Okay, I'd love to.
Where can everyone find you and the brand?
The brand is just at Organic Traditions. Shopify, Amazon, Instagram, TikTok, everything's just at Organic Traditions. And for me, it's at Ali Zeifman on Instagram and TikTok.
Amazing. And we will obviously link everything in the show notes. But I can't wait for you, the listeners and the viewers, to get your hands on some OT products.
If I could say one thing to try that everyone should start with, it would be the matcha latte or Focus Fuel if you want something that's, Mind Fuel if you want something that's not caffeinated.
That's the lion's mane.
It's with lion's mane and it has no caffeine, no coffee in it.
I thought you were going to say the Yacon syrup.
I don't know if you'll be able to get your hands on it. Everybody run.
All right, the matcha and the Mind Fuel.
Yes.
Those are the 2 recommendations.
To start with.
I'm so excited to have my little OT bevy later when I get home. So thank you so much for everything that you shared today, Allie. It was such a joy and a pleasure to have you.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, for watching. And if you love this episode, share it with a friend. Tell them to go pick up some Organic Traditions products. Maybe you can make yourself something warm and delicious together and listen or watch this episode. I am so grateful for all of you in the Inspire and Move podcast community. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, it would mean so much to me if you took a few seconds and shared this on social media, sent it to a friend, or left a 5-star review. There is power in community, and I'm so grateful to have you part of mine.